Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Good morning, folks. This is Who Did You Boycott Today? I am doing a re-recording for my new podcast. This is one of the audios that I made because I want receipts and paper trail of any disagreements that I have had on Twitter land, so that there'll be no false narratives being pushed out there. I want to keep receipts and paper trail because as time passes, folks are going to want to shape a different narrative, and I want it on record. I want it documented that this is what really transpired. Because I know how people brain work. They just kind of like just scramble things up. And then before you know it, a whole new narrative is shaped. And folks are just preaching about it. Just going around spreading it like it's gospel truth. And we can't be having that. Because, that sets a poor example for our kids. It sets a poor example for each other. And before you know it, it starts to run rampant through the community. We don't want that type of harm being done to our community. No, sirree. We don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm going to make sure that I go through my old recordings and decide which ones I'm going to upload to my new podcast called the Who Did You Boycott Today? Yes, I'm over here on this new podcast platform that I recently discovered about a little over a month ago. And I'm going to utilize that platform because I'd rather have my content over there where they're going to pay to put advertisements on my uploads. Since I can't seem to get monetized on YouTube, I'm not monetized on Twitter, I'm not monetized on Facebook, but I can say with a straight face, there is a platform called Fanbase that has paid me several times. And in fact, Fanbase was the first platform to ever pay me a dime. After being on social media after COVID hit, 3 days after COVID hit, I just became a regular participant on social media after COVID hit. 3 days after COVID hit, I remember it like yesterday. It was a culture shock of my life because I was addicted to fantasy sports. I tell you, I love my fantasy sports. I did my research and built my sports teams. I played all different fantasy sports: basketball, football, golf, hockey, ladies WNBA. I just played. It was a full-time job. Yes, it was a full-time job, 7 days a week, doing all of that intense research on the different players. Because, I wanted to win. And when I first started out playing fantasy sports, I won on Yahoo. I remember starting out on Yahoo. I had like 10 leagues that I joined. I wouldn't go over 10 leagues when I first started playing because I didn't want to get overwhelmed. But I ended up in 2008. I ended up when me and my ex-husband were in competition with each other, and I won two or three trophies on Yahoo badges, and my ex-husband brought me 3 trophies. Uh, I won first place in the league that I was in for the NFL, and I won first place in the college league. So I did something right. I don't know how I managed to get it done. It still shocks me. Little old me would win first place in NFL fantasy league, and then top it with winning first place in a college league that same year. So that's a good memory to have. But let me get to the audio. Let me get to this audio because I need to get to the rest of my audios. I have a lot of audios to re-record from my YouTube days. I mean, I uploaded more videos to YouTube than I can count, but YouTube haven't paid me one dime. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna re-record my videos that I uploaded to YouTube and put it over here on my podcast. And if folks want to take the time to listen to it, that's on them. That's their personal choice. I just don't feel overjoyed that YouTube have all of my content and they're not paying me a dime, but it's making them a lot of money. So it just makes sense to me that to make it fair across the board, that I re-record my content that's on YouTube and put it over here on my new podcast, and let folks decide if they want to view it or not. Because my time is valuable just like YouTube. And I'm going to utilize these platforms to make an investment in my financial security and to reinvest in my community. That is what my goal is with monetizing these social media platforms. I'm not going to try to make it a secret. My purpose and goal for utilizing these social media platforms is to monetize. To monetize and secure my financial security, and when whatever and hopefully there'll be some left over for me to reinvest in my community. I've been doing that for the past 2 years that I've been boycotting. It has paid off big time. I can't tell you in simple words how much it has paid off. Let me go ahead and drop that gem while I'm at it. Since I started boycotting in December 2020, I have been investing in the stock market. I mean, I was investing on 7 different platforms: TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, Webull, Robinhood, Public, Fidelity, Merrill Edge. I think I'm missing one, but it's not coming to me. My greatest gain in the stock market was over $1,200. It's just chump change with some folks. Over $1,200, over 12,000% gain on a stock that I picked. I mean, I bought 200 shares of it. If I had more confidence in my decision, I would have brought over 200 shares, maybe 400 or 500 shares or more. But seeing that I was just a beginner, that stock shot up less than 24 hours after me buying 200 shares. I couldn't wake up fast enough the next day to sell as quickly as I could sell. Robinhood wouldn't let me sell that same day. So I had to wait until I woke up the next morning to be able to sell those shares and take my gains. And so that's what I did. I've had a few other small gains here and there, but my greatest gain is being able to invest in Consumer Cooperative Group. I've taken the money that I boycott my dollar power, and I've taken that and invested it into the Consumer Cooperative Group. I have invested a little over $600 into Consumer Cooperative Group. If you don't know about it, it's going to be a game changer. I have a lifetime membership with Consumer Cooperative Group, and I'm thankful and grateful for that. The brother name is Tannen Andrews. This brother has more than 31 years of life experience and two college degrees. Very successful. Don't need to be doing this, but he's giving back. He's giving back because he's been. That's the kind of person he is. He has been very successful in his own real estate investing business, but decided to start this co-op called Consumer Cooperative Group and give back and help others know what he has learned so that those who want to duplicate it can duplicate it. But the Consumer Cooperative Group has given me and my daughter financial security. So as of today, if I remember correctly, I have over 425,000 shares in the Consumer Cooperative Group. When I initially invested, it was an investment at 0.01 cent. 1 cent. That initial investment of $100 brought me over 100,000 shares. The second round of the investment that I made when they was doing a second round of fundraising, I invested $500. So since I joined in June of 2022, and thank you to Brother Tannen, who gave away over 50 million shares of his own to the members who joined, who took the time to join the co-op. Brother Tannen rewarded those members with giving away 50 million of his own shares. This brother has skin in the game. He has over $400,000 invested in this co-op. Let me repeat that again. Brother Tannen Andrews have over $400,000 invested in this co-op that will be the first black co-op to make it to Wall Street. It will be the first black co-op to make it to Wall Street. And it's two sides to the co-op. One side is for the Wall Street and one side is for the membership. The two are combined. The membership side is going to invest in turnkey real estate. Also, Brother Tannen is laying out a blueprint so that we can control our land, water, air, internet, and life insurance, currency, everything that we need to sustain ourselves as human beings. That is what Tannen is putting together. And he has got a good team around him. Each member in the co-op understand that we are working towards building an infrastructure that will provide support to our Negro/Black community so that we can have something in place to counter these opportunity zones. Let me say, these opportunity zones is nothing but a scam to force Negroes and Black Americans out of their neighborhoods. That's what the real deal of opportunity zone. and redlining. So the co-op is going to put something in place to provide assistance to our Negro and Black community who are being targeted by these opportunity zones and redlining. We got something in the works for them. Yes, we do. So let me get to the audio because I don't want this.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Audio to be too long. It cuts off automatically if it gets past 1 hour. So I can only record 1 hour at a time before my phone recording cuts off, and then I have to start over. So here we go. Hope everyone having a good day. And this is my my audio I made about a person by the name of Atarah. She disrespected me in a space one night at 2 a.m. By addressing me as Black woman. I asked her respectfully to stop calling me Black woman, but she refused to acknowledge that I had asked her to stop doing that. So it was necessary for me to make this audio so I could have a record of it, of accountability, so that later on, if by chance Atarah or someone else try to change the narrative, I have my recording to be the proof of what really transpired that night at 2 a.m. It was very, very late at night. I should have been in bed. But see, the devil told me to go in that room that night. The devil. So I'm gonna blame it on the devil, because I really did wrestle with my decision to click that title that night. I said, Aquilin, do you really want to click that title? Because every time you go into their space, you end up bumping heads or get or voices get real loud and folks are just talking over each other, or the king mute button starts getting pressed. The king mute button that folks just kind of like get carried away with it, but for each his own. That mute button is just a tool that folks use however they choose to use it. But I'm not gonna stand by and be muted. I know how to show myself to the exit, and I do it every chance I get. I've only muted a few folks in my time span of being on Twitter. I can count on one hand how many times it's happened. I can just count on my one hand how many times I utilized the mute button. But I just needed to make this recording so that folks won't be able to reshape the narrative to their liking later on, so that it's very clear why it was necessary for me to make this recording, because the devil told Atarah that night on that stage to keep telling me I was a Black woman, when she clearly know I don't identify as a Black woman. I identify as a Negro. I'm going to respect how you want to be identified, and you should extend that same respect to me and address me how I want to be identified. But if you choose not to do it, then we just have to we have to part ways, because I'm not going to tolerate anyone disrespecting me. I go out my way to make sure that I don't disrespect anyone else. So if I'm going to put the effort in to make sure that I go out my way above and beyond to make sure I try not to disrespect anyone, I expect that in return. I demand it in return. I'm not asking for it, I'm demanding it. Thank you kindly. Here's the audio. Well, I'm half asleep right now, and this is Who Did You Boycott Today? But I just remembered yesterday I was in a space with Miss Tara, and she came off of her microphone and had the audacity to call me a black woman when she knew good and darn well she was disrespecting me. And then also another sorry human being was in there named 5050. That sorry human being, man, he's always crying. He's always exaggerating, taking a mode and making it a mountain. But I'm getting back to Miss Atarah, because I'm going to close this room out and reopen it with her name in it again. But I'm going to make this quick audio since it's quite hard to talk in rooms these days because folks keep muting you. They keep pressing that darn mute button. Well, you don't control all mute buttons. Everyone have the ability to open a space and talk as long as they please. So while you're getting all with your chest stuck out, when you're getting ready to press the mute button, just let the devil tell you that everybody can open a room and talk as long as they please. But in closing, Miss sorry human being, Miss Atarah, you thought you was just having a good old time calling me a black woman. Yes, the other night. Yes, you did. You thought you were just having a good old time at my expense and everyone who was in the room at the time. I hope you had a good old time. I hope you had a good old time. This room not going to be open long, whoever you are, because I'm making this short audio for Miss Atarah. Since she let the devil tell her to call me a black woman. She should have pushed that devil off of her shoulder, but she didn't do it. I don't know why she didn't do it, but I pray to God she don't let the devil tell her to come in my space. I'm done. I forgave. I put things aside the last time, but you don't cross the line. You don't cross me for the last time, sorry human being. You have crossed me for the last time that you're breathing on this earth. You don't try me like that just because we on a social app. Don't let the devil tell you to do that. But you listen to him. I don't know why you listened to that devil, but you did. So I'm here to tell you in this audio, you have crossed me for the last time. Sorry, human being. You just been, thank God you're not in South Carolina saying those words in front of my face. Just like I told the last sorry human being that I don't go by black. And nobody is going to tell me that I go by black. So you just thank God that you're not in Summerville, South Carolina, feeling all brave and everything to call me a black woman. I don't know why you did it. Maybe you can make a recording and tell me why you did it, if you feel like it. Because I would kind of like to know why you let the devil tell you to do that. Because you didn't have to do it. You didn't have to do it. I guess you may still be a little bit bent out of shape about the last disagreement that we had. I don't know. I don't pretty much blocked it out my mind. I can't even remember half of the details, to tell you the truth about the matter. I don't moved on from it. but apparently you may not have. I don't know. That's a question that you got to answer. Let that devil tell you to call me a black woman. And I don't go by black. Those who have been in spaces with me enough times know I identify as Negro. I am a descendant of a Negro, and I was born a Negro, and I'm gonna die a Negro. And no other son of a gun, sorry human being, is going to call me a black person. God did not create no white people and no black people. And I don't know why brain dead people keep on holding on to that darn word, B-L-A-C-K, with a death grip. You need to let go of that death grip. Based on research, America has been harming me for 53 years of my 60 years on earth. 53 years out of my life, out of the 60 years I've been on this earth, America has been harming me once they lump me under that term called B-L-A-C-K. So why in God's name would I want to keep identifying with it if I ever was? Black and African American, America has been harming me for 53 years. 53 years of my 60 years on this earth. That's what they have been doing intentionally. Intentionally. Harming me every day that I wake up for 53 years. Every day that I woke up 3 years. They decided they wanted to harm me. So I got folks in the 21st century who think they have gall and audacity to call me a black person. When they know good and darn well I don't identify as black. I don't identify as black. There's no DNA test to take that determines you're a black person. There's no DNA test that you take to determine you're a white person. But we got fools walking around on 2 legs still saying those words. And I say them myself sometimes. But I know they made up terms. I know plain as day they made up terms. It's not rocket science. I know every time I say it out my darn mouth, it's a made up term. But anyway, I need to go back to sleep. I just closed out my other room, and then it hit me. I remembered at the last second. I remembered what you had done. So I woke myself up enough so I could make this short audio. Yeah, I shook the cobwebs out my head, and I said, let me make this darn audio before I go back to sleep, so I can address this sorry human being. Yes, I'm going to stop in my darn tracks and address your sorry behind. I hope you get this darn message loud and clear. But if you don't, feel free to click my title any old time and pop into the room and we can hash it out. We can certainly hash it out. Or you can get on a plane and fly here to Somerville, South Carolina. And let the devil tell you to say it to my face. Choose your choice. Pick whichever choice that suits you. It don't make me no difference either way. You can come into my space and let the devil tell you to tell me I'm a black woman. If you let the devil tell you that, that's your choice. But if I was you, I would knock that devil off my shoulder and go about my merry day. That's what I would tell myself. I would say, devil, you got to get off of my shoulder, because you told me to tell who did you boycott today that she was a black woman. And you shouldn't have told me that. You shouldn't have told me to say that out my mouth. Devil, I should not have said those words out my mouth to who did you boycott today. But you did it. So anyway, let me get off of here and reset my room again. whatever. Okay, folks, that's the end of that recording. It was a very short recording that I had to make in response.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
To being disrespected by a lady by the name of Atarah on Twitter. One thing that I'm really big on is demanding respect. That's one of my pet peeves. I don't tolerate disrespect from anyone. I don't go out my way to disrespect anyone else. And so, at a very young age, my mother impressed upon me the importance of being respected and respecting others. Yes, she did. She took time to make sure that her 7 kids understood that in this hostile, unhealthy environment that we were birthed into, that demanding respect was something that was very, very critical, important to do. So we took that lesson to heart that she impressed upon each of us. And so I can't remember when I exactly started demanding respect. I would say somewhere around the 4th grade. That's when we starting to come into our own. We're starting to really start feeling ourselves and saying how we gonna be, what type of person we want to try to be, and we decided we're gonna let others try to push us around and bully you. So I would have to say that would be, if I go back in my memory, I would have to pinpoint it to when I was in the 4th grade, 9 years old. So as I mentioned on this audio, the term black, I fully understand why we have a attachment to black. I was born and I was around when that term was starting to be used, and we were sticking our fists up in the air and we were sticking our chests out saying black power, black power. I fully understood why we were doing it and the connection that we had to it and what it stated when we said it out of our mouth. It was black power. It was to let everyone else know that we had black power, and we do. And I fully can relate to it in that way. I have no problem relating to it in that way in our history. It's a part of me too. It's a part of me. I can't remove it. Black power will always be a part of my existence, in my connection, in my love for my fellow melanated human beings, my fellow brothers and sisters who have melanated skin that's brown or dark brown. But I don't make the transition of identifying as a black person. When I look in the mirror, my skin tone is copper. It is nowhere near black. So aside from that reality, I fully have been informed by a very, very scholarship brother by the name of Talent, New Negro Republic. We have had some disagreements, but not nothing major. But the brother is bright. I think he is a trailblazer. for the community and for his bloodline. He's gifted. And just like MLK and Malcolm X, I can say without hesitation that that brother is going to trailblaze and make an impact on his bloodline, the Negro, and his community. That's what he is dedicated to giving back in that way. And that's why he has launched a organization by the name of New Negro Republic. Take time out your day and type it into Google search box. Locate his profile on Twitter. Let me say his name again. New, N-E-W, Negro Republic. Do that search and go to the website and support the brother. Put your email address in his website and follow him and see how you can support what he's trying to do in a positive way for all of us. If you are a melanated person, that brother is doing work that's impacting your day-to-day life. And he's doing it unselfishly. So if you can find it, the time or the interest to support him in return, it will be greatly appreciated. I don't mind taking the time to acknowledge those who are doing good for the collective unselfishly. I don't hesitate to try to give that person a shout out because it reminds me of all the times that other persons that crossed my path in the military that took the time to pull me to the side and talk to me and help me to learn how to navigate this hostile environment that I was growing up into, that I was growing into an adult. So many persons did that. Too many for me to count. Because when I first entered the military as a young 18-year-old, I was in a foreign environment. I had just come from growing up in the projects and being a part of my community, and in the community that I grew up in, you know, it was a lot of good times and bad times. And I had to make a major adjustment in the military compared to the environment that I had come from. The military environment was a major transition. And so those persons who I remember first when I was stationed at the Pentagon, that was my first assignment in the military. After completing my basic training in AIT, my first duty assignment was at the Pentagon. And I can't remember all of those good people, those good persons who took me to the side, because I was going off on folks. I was just snapping here and there and just going off. And they had to pull me to the side and help me to understand that I had to make adjustment in this military environment. I couldn't just be flying off the top and going off on folks. So they helped me to understand how to navigate that. Now, I didn't change who I was. I just had to tone it down a little bit. I had to bring it down a couple of notches. But I still was that same person. I still was going to speak my mind. And if anyone stepped out of line with me, I was going to put them in their place. That part did not change. I just had to learn how to do it in a more tactful way. That's what I took from the conversations that I had with these persons who cared enough to take time out of their life to pull me to the side and say, let me talk to you. And it went a long way in helping me. And I don't hesitate to acknowledge it and share it with others and hopefully someone in your life is trying to be there for you. Someone that you know that has tried to pull you to the side, said, let's sit down and have a talk. And you maybe didn't want to listen to them. I didn't want to listen to those persons. But I remember thinking, I don't want to hear what they saying out their mouth. But when we parted ways, I reflected on that conversation many times. And I took a lot of positive from it. So yes, as human beings, we're gonna want to push back and not want to listen to someone trying to offer us some constructive help, and that's just human nature. But I specifically remember constantly thinking and reflecting on those conversations that those persons had with me. I remember it like it was yesterday because it had such a major impact on my life. I stood, we as we were having those conversations, I did not want to hear what they had to say. But my personality is to always reflect on any conversation that I have with someone, and try to evaluate the positive and the negative from that conversation. That's what I have always done. No matter how old I was, that was the way I was with any interaction that I had with another person. If we had disagreements, I still took the time later on to reflect on it and try to understand why we had that disagreement. If we had agreements, to understand why we had agreement, and learn from it and take something positive from it, and then be able to also evaluate what part is negative. So that's why I don't mind taking the time to acknowledge those persons. And Talent New Negro Republic is one of those persons. And that brother is doing a lot of good things. Please take the time to support his website, and then you can do your own evaluation of what he's doing that can help you in your day-to-day life. Many of the work, a lot of the work that he is doing is impacting each of our life day to day, and he is working very hard to do that work, and it will be greatly appreciated if we could simply put our email address in his website and show our support. If you choose to join the membership that he offered, that will be appreciated also. But that brother works so hard, do so much research to help us better understand our history and understand what harm that has been done to each of us who are descendants of slave ancestors. So please find it in your heart to support the brother. And I don't want to harp on it too long, but that's why I was so upset with Atarah that night, because Brother Talent, New Negro Republic, is the person who did the research and broke the code and explained decade by decade how America has been harming descendants of slaves once they started lumping us on a term called Black American and African American. It was New Negro Republic that uncovered that data. He took time out of his life to do that painstaking research and share it with all of us that wanted to learn about it. And I can't thank him enough. I am overly grateful that this person took time out of their life. He just had a newborn child, and around the same time that he was doing all of this in-depth research to break the code and help us to understand how America has been harming each and every one of us since around 1965, really. But he went back to 1890 and worked his way up to the present day. He started from 1890 and worked his way up decade by decade by decade and broke it down for each of us to be able to understand it in simple terms. And after uncovering that research, it was made clear that America has been harming descendants of slaves for over 53 years because they decided to stamp Black American and African American as our ethnicity. They did that deliberately because they have always and will always be on a mission to harm the bloodline of descendants of slaves. Whether they are locking us up, whether they are murdering us, shooting us 90 times, or choking us on a subway, or refusing to give us the financial share of the pie, whether they are refusing to pass laws and policies and then enforce them. They have refused to, they have shut us out of those benefits. And we deserve that because our ancestors, our slave ancestors, carved out 246 years so that we would not have to start at ground zero. That's what they went through when they sacrificed through all those 246 years of being hung and burnt and lynched and murdered. Those who survived, those 4 million that survived slavery, and those that died, made that sacrifice so that their descendants would not have to start at ground zero. But we still are at the bottom today in the 21st century. After everything that they sacrificed, every immigrant that has come to America has jumped in front of us, has jumped in front of every descendant. So Talent also woke that up, that all immigrants, melanated, brown, dark-skinned immigrants who have arrived in America after 1965 is financially, economically, and income-wise ahead of all of descendants. That does not happen by accident. That happens because a system is in place to purposely push that Pacific group to the bottom. And everyone else is playing a part in helping to keep that Pacific group, who are descendants of slave ancestors, at the bottom. It does not happen by accident. It only happens if every other ethnic group is doing a part, is playing a part to help the evil white people of America keep one Pacific group at the bottom. That's how it happens, and everyone knows this. Every one of us who have a thinking brain in our head know that that is taking place. Now the data has been released. The data and the research has been released, so folks can't deny it any longer. The data has been released, and Brother Talent, New Negro Republic, is the person who uncovered that data and that research. He also uncovered and broke the code that America has been harming descendants of slaves for 53 years from the time they started labeling that Pacific group Black American or African American. America has done that on purpose. Done that on purpose to harm the Pacific group descendants of slaves. So sometime around the time period of after 1965, America decided that they would start putting on forms and applications the word Black American, Black/African American, and tell us that we have to check that box when it is clearly documented that we are Negroes. But they deliberately left Negro off a person's birth certificate. They deliberately put Black and African American on some birth certificates. When Special Field Order 15 was signed in 1865, that Special Field Order 15 contract stated that Negroes are free. Negroes are free and will be treated as such. So from the time that ink dried on that paper, that was the ethnicity that America acknowledged as the ethnicity of the descendants of slaves, of the person who had just been set free. So I don't understand where the confusion is at. If that's the document that gave us our citizen, that acknowledged us as citizens and our human rights, then why would we want to abandon that protection? Why would we want to abandon 246 years of sacrifice that our ancestors made to identify with a different term? But I'm not going to sit here and try to change any person's mind. Each person has to make that choice of why they are not identifying as a Negro, why they have a clear conscience that they are identifying by a different term. And I don't quite understand that. But each person is going to have to come to terms with why they are making that decision and that choice. I have personally made my choice to identify as a Negro. And I'm going to go to my grave identifying as a Negro. Because my ancestors, my mother, my grandfather, my great-grandfather lived each day of their life as a Negro. That was their ethnicity. That was their race. And if it was good enough for them, it's certainly good enough for me. That's just my personal choice. I'm not here to think or tell anyone else how they should identify. I'm only here to make it very clear and crystal clear that no one is going to disrespect me and tell me I'm a black person, like this person by the name of Atarah did. She made that personal choice to disrespect me in that way. I would never disrespect her by calling her a Negro or calling her ADOS or FBA. I would not do that because I respect her. But folks take the liberty to disrespect others, but naturally they want to be respected. We all do. And so since this person made a choice to disrespect me that night, I had to make the decision to make this audio in response to it. That's what I chose to do. I chose to take time to respond to that disrespect so that I can have a record of that date and that time when it happened. I'm going to keep it for my own safekeeping. So I'm going to close out right there. I want to thank every person that take the time to listen to this audio. Also want to mention again, as I will try to do on each of the audios that I close out, make it a point to sit down and talk with each other and stay alert and conscious of the environment and the hostile environment that we're living in. Encourage and support each other. When you're out and about, be alert and conscious of your environment and those persons in your environment, because we clearly see that there are people walking around with the intention to murder and kill and harm other persons because of their hatred and evil mind. So they are walking around amongst us, and we have no way of knowing at any given time who that person may be. So it is our responsibility to put things in place to protect our well-being and to protect the well-being of our kids and those in our community. But that will not take place if we don't take the time to sit down and have these conversations regularly, to constantly remind each other, to stay alert and conscious of your surroundings and those in your surroundings, and whenever possible, travel in a buddy system. That's the way we used to go around when we were kids. Our mother explained to us to travel in twos or threes. Never, she made it a point to explain to us not to be out there traveling by yourself. And so growing up as kids, we understood that we were supposed to be more than one if we were running around playing in our neighborhoods and in our community. That we should not be out and about alone. We should be traveling in twos or threes. And we did that. We made sure that when we got done playing, we walked each other to each other's house and made sure that each of us made it home safely. We made sure that we traveled in a buddy system. That was something that we did constantly. And I hope that we can get back to that so that we can hopefully protect each other and be able to live to see another day and enjoy our life the best way we know how. That's something that we deserve, but we have to be willing to take the time to care about having these conversations with each other so that we can be conscious of the environment that we live in. If we don't have these conversations, we are going to be caught off guard. We're going to be approached by one of these evil persons that mean us harm, that want to murder and kill and harm innocent persons. So we have to help one another stay alert and conscious of that threat. That's what we can do for one another. I hope we will make it a conscious choice to do that each and every day of our life, because evil will never go away. We don't have the ability to stop evil, but we do have the ability to protect ourselves in the best way we know how. Will that protect us against all threats? No. But we have to do everything in our power to protect ourselves to the best of our ability. And if we're doing that more times than not, we're going to keep ourselves safe. So thank you. I want to thank each and every one again for listening to this audio. And I hope that these audios can have a positive impact on your day-to-day life and your day-to-day interactions with others. That's the purpose also of me taking the time to post these audios, because we learn from each other. We learn from each other's life experiences. So I try to take something positive from each and every person that I interact with. I also evaluate the negatives so that I can apply it to my day-to-day life and to my life experience, so that I can try to make the best decisions and the best choices for my well-being and the well-being of my child and my family and loved ones and my community, my Negro community. So that's what I try to do. I don't get it right every time, but I do my absolute best to get it right, to make the right choices and the right decisions that don't only impact my life in a positive way, but also impact my community in a positive way. So thank you again, and everyone take care.